See, now a lot of you go, I knew you're gonna keep away. That I'm not doing asshole consulting, am I? I'm not doing a request, am I? I'm doing what I want. Oh my god, he can do what he wants for a change. And I don't know how if this just popped into my feed, and thank God it did. There's this guy out here called Manan Anwar. I think I pronounced it correctly. And well, let me before I tell you this story, let me tell you another story. Let me cue up his videos here. These are great. Um, there was a guy who did the History of Mexico podcast, and he went all the way back to I think it was Hernandez, Cortez, whoever the one went in there for the gold, took out Montezuma. Fascinating. Fascinating. Like you can't make it up. And then after defeating Montezuma, they went other places and they actually did find gold. No, let's not make a movie about that. Let's make some movies about lesbian space witches. Don't make a movie about that. So he stops. God, I should be correct. Hang on. Who invaded the Aztecs? Cortez. Cortez. All right. So the guy who did the History of Mexico podcast ends with Cortez finding gold, kind of telling the Spanish government to fuck off. And he just left it there. We're talking 15 something, 100 years. I know I'm butchering the history on this. The point is, he stopped. This guy did a phenomenal job. I was eating popcorn, man. This was almost like watching Die Hard. And then he just stopped. I'm like, okay, what about the next like 500 years to today? I knew Mexican-American War. I knew Battle of Veracruz and the Europeans kind of coming over there and fucking with them. What's the guy, Telly Savalas? Like, there was way more history I want, and they didn't. That was it. We just stopped there. I don't want this happening to this guy's channel because he only has 18,000 subscribers. His views, thankfully, are up there because he does such a good job. But he has an entire series. How many videos he's got here? 514 videos. They're well done, incredibly well done, and very well researched. And it's everything about the Soviet Union. The one that I watched a couple. One was about Beria. He was basically the SS version of the Soviets under Stalin. He was the evil bad guy, torturer, secret police type of guy, and how he was set to take over the Soviet Union after Stalin died, and then Khrushchev and the other guy knocked him off. There's another movie. There's another movie. But no, we can't make that one. It's time for large and in charge black woman to say she and snap her fingers. Oh, I love Snapping Fingers 1. I can't wait for the sequel. And then another one was about the bureaucracy and how absent pricing, right? Because it's supposed to be this utopian world, and surprise, pricing still came into play, almost if it's a natural fact of human nature. He was talking about how they determined they had to have a ton of essentially economists and bureaucrats calculating the production needs. So if you need a certain amount of grain, that means we need a certain amount of tractors. We need a certain amount of tractors. Now it splits. We need a certain amount of rubber, a certain amount of plastic, a certain amount of materials, which then we need a certain amount of oil. We need a certain amount of iron. And all this had to be tracked and measured because you're not going to let free prices determine demand. From an economist standpoint, I'm like, I kind of knew about this, but I never really delved into it. Well, how do you do something without pricing, right? Yeah, how do you, if you're not going to let supply and demand determine it, how does a bureaucratic organization determine what to produce? And they did. They went all out. And the guy cited a Soviet mathematician who said, at the rate we're going, because everything had to be tracked, at the rate we're going to need 10 to the 14th power number of calculations. And the guy, now admittedly, plus or minus, large plus or minus, but the guy said inevitably all the Soviet economy is going to become is us doing paperwork and calculations. There's no actual labor. The bureaucracy and the management took up so much time, essentially, at the end of the day. That's the only resource any country has is time. And he delved into that. And I'm glad there's like 514. But here's another one pretending to work in the Soviet Union. Jokes that were illegal in the USSR. When the Soviet Union turned capitalist. And by the way, his delivery is excellent. If you were, I think the information is the most, but he speaks very well. He reminds me of digging into China. Like, dude, did you just do that in one take? Was there any editing? I didn't notice. So he is thankfully, here crazy things considered normal in Russia. That's only got 3,000 views. Everything you need to know about moving abroad. Oh, okay, so he is in Estonia. Maybe I'll join him. Yeah, moving from the US to Estonia. Where's his Soviet ones? Soviet life was more expensive than you think, 43,000. Soviet life was stranger than you think, 23,000. So I think he had a thing here with the Soviet stuff. The greatest Soviet propaganda posters, 18,000. He's getting the views. I don't want him to go away. I want more of this. And so if you kindly would take a look, Manan Anwar, I linked to it down below. It's spelled phonetically. And yeah, these are fun. These are interesting. If you're tired of the videos coming into your feed, shock, Ubisoft collapses for the 84th time. Shock, Disney in shambles. A horror. When you're done with the loud fucking yellow font, take a look at this guy. All right, that's it. That's all I had to say. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.